Hello, good day, good morning, good evening, Meshtadelians, and good evening, good morning, good day, good afternoon to you, my friend, Max. What is that?
It's my little Shetland pony friend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop.
They are cute, aren't they?
They do. They keep your head on a swivel. They could be
Mhm.
dangerous.
They can be. They're actually quite mean.
Them little Shetland ponies.
It's the same as small people. They're more mean.
Yeah. Short people got no reason to.
And dogs, actually.
Oh, yeah. Not your dog, though. He was sweet.
No, he was sweet, but he was hench. He was somehow, without doing fuck all, he was built like an absolute tank.
That's what people say about me.
Yeah. Like a brick.
He's a brick house.
Yeah, a literal brick. The most cunty ones are the little Jack Russells, extremely aggressive. You don't fuck with a Jack Russell. The worst of the worst are those little, what are the little Mexican things that people carry around there? Chihuahuas. Yeah, they are proper aggy. Really, really aggressive. And then the Great Dane, lovely animal.
Yeah. Although my friend Andy had to put down his Great Dane years ago because it bit some kid's head.
Oh, really?
Fractured her skull and everything. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I bet the kid was a right little cunt, though. Probably had it coming.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. It was a long, long time ago.
In a galaxy far away.
But he was tore up over that. But yeah, I always thought Great Danes were supposed to be pretty chill.
They're proper chill.
But this one was not chill. Got him a reject.
The thing is, everything and everyone can be chill to a certain point. And often the most chilled things, when they snap, they really fucking snap. The same as people. Like, you really push a nice man enough, and then you see what happens.
Yeah.
But a Great Dane, you don't know what the kids were doing. Like, could have been having a really fucking shit time, and they could have been horrible to it, and then it's just gone. Do you know what? I'm just gonna fucking crack your skull.
That definitely wasn't the case. Wasn't the case here.
Okay.
With that one, then nobody was horrible to that dog.
That's good to hear.
And they had it since a puppy. It's just a freak thing. Anyway, you have something that large that could just flinch a little bit. And something crazy like that can happen. But I'm glad you brought up that point to pivot to the show, is when pushed and pushed and pushed to the edge, people that hold it back, when they often snap, they snap much harder than somebody who's constantly on the edge of freaking out. And isn't that really just who all the Meshtadelians are? We've had writers on the show before. I can't remember exactly who the writer was, but they were quoting the Rambo thing. We just won't be left alone.
Yeah.
I believe also Solzhenitsyn, the quote for this too, be careful of the man who just wants to be left alone.
Oh, yeah.
Lately, I feel like we're at that tipping point of, we all really want to be fucking left alone. You're really fucking pissing me off. I just want to be left alone. And when the just want to be left alone crowd enters the fight, watch out. We've got a lot of pent up aggression.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's not really the focus of the show. I would like to add, well, I might as well just do this segment now.
What segment?
This thing I've been thinking about. I was going to write a whole article about it. I just want to talk about it for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
This assassination thing.
Who?
There's so much up in the air about it. Like,
who?
The Charlie Kirk assassination.
Haven't heard about it.
Yeah, okay. So the kid is this introverted, weird incel kid who knows if he was MK Ultra directly or through these chat rooms, or it doesn't really matter. This kid is like an interchangeable little fucking weirdo from so many other mass shooters and people who have committed horrible acts. To me, it's a lot of the same thing. It's lack of interaction with your father and your family. Like, I assume the kid came from a decent family from what I understand, but he was pulled away in college to be sucked into like this internet chat room lifestyle. And we have a lot of these people in the Meshtadel, in the ungovernable misfits sphere as well, that they're just sucked into their computers, sucked into their screens, perhaps a lack of physical activity. And it got me thinking about what I've been doing this summer and having a kid work for me. And I know I've probably talked about this too much already, but it's like a lot of my time, guys. So it's what I'm thinking about. Not really doing anything else this summer, but laboring at the gas well. And I can't tell you how many times he said to me, man, my friends keep asking, like, how did I get so fit this summer? Or commenting on that I'm so tan. And men are simple, simple creatures. When you overcomplicate a man's life with things that don't matter, they can really do dangerous things. But if you simplify a man's life by exposing him to things that really do matter to him, physical activity, sunshine, food, water, that's really basically all we need. And I just think this rush to send our kids off to college is really kind of stupid, especially for boys. If you send your kid off to like go work on a construction site for a summer or for a year and then go to college, I think you're going to be a lot better off.
That's a good point.
Young men need physical labor.
I think it's more than just the physical labor as well. It's not that you're doing the physical labor, it's the fact that you begin to have an appreciation for what it is and for what the people around you on that site or wherever you're working are doing. Like a lot of kids who go to college, they kind of either look down their nose on blue collar stuff because they think they're smarter.
Yeah.
Or don't have an appreciation for how tough things are and how smart you have to be to do some of this stuff well. And also that the smartest person I've ever met in my entire life wore a boiler suit and fuck all, just went around just like fixing random shit, like because he could fix anything in a little village in the UK. And then his biggest goal was to go and have a little cottage in Cornwall when he retired, and he bought it and then dropped dead, like literally like that week. If anyone met him, if any college kid met this guy, they'd be like, oh, he's a fucking idiot, covered in grease and boiler suit. He was the smartest man I've ever met. Like, he probably was Satoshi. It's ridiculous. I think things like that, like just having these experiences where you have an appreciation for other people, you do the physical work, you probably learn a little bit more how to communicate with people and deal with people. Because you know what it's like on a site, like everyone takes the piss and fucks around, and like you've got to learn a little bit of, it's like anti-fragility, because otherwise, you know, you go through your whole college thing and then like someone says, I don't know, you didn't play PlayStation very well and calls you a dickhead or something like that. And then you're like, I'm going to go shoot up a school. It's like, whoa. No, let's be a little bit less fragile.
You learn conflict resolution very quickly. And I'm not saying it has to be a construction site.
No.
You know, joining the military is what did that to me. Competitive sports do that for some other people. It's being a warrior, being a sportsman, being a blue-collar laborer. It's all kind of the same vibe. I always feel the same whenever I'm either playing sports or, you know, it all feels the same eventually.
Yeah.
You get up early, you're cold together at a work site, at the rifle range, at practice field. The sun comes up, you guys are warming up, you're chit-chatting, you bust your ass for the day, you take a break, you break bread together, you get into an argument, you fight it out for a little bit, and then that guy becomes your best friend. There's just these certain patterns of things that happen in these environments. And for a young man never to experience that and then just get thrown into goofy internet culture is very dangerous. You're creating a very dangerous little firecracker.
I think there's also like the being around genuine physical threat and like genuine feel of a pecking order and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
If you walk into an online forum and someone has an opinion that you don't like, but it doesn't hurt you or your family or any loved ones or anything, it's just an opinion, you can throw your toys out the pram, call them a cunt, call them a loser, attack their personality, attack their character.
And then rage quit the group.
Rage quit the group, you're gone, and then you can fester and be all stressed and then go into another group and say, tell them about what you've just, you do all that. But if you do that when you're playing rugby or whatever, you youngster, you know, the American football thing, or you're on a job site, you're doing something, there is a genuine physical threat. If you're going to act like that, someone's probably going to fucking put you up against a wall.
I was going to pop you. Yeah.
And so you learn quickly, and you're not going to do it because you go there and there's like, oh, I can feel this is like, rather than calling this 6'5", 25 stone bloke a cunt for no reason, maybe I should try and resolve things with him. Maybe I should just be like, hey mate, look, I get your point of view, but here's why I think you're wrong. And maybe you should be a little bit more respectful in the way that you speak to people. Because, you know, you see like these, I do know a lot of it's age. Like now, I don't care about 99% of the
I
stuff that
know.
I would
Yeah.
have cared about because I
Yeah.
have kids and fucking other stresses. And like, so if someone's like, I think this, Bitcoin's gay, and I'm like, fine. I literally don't care. I honestly go, there's zero care. When I was younger, it would be much more like, I'm not so confident in myself. I'm not so confident in my opinions. I'm not so confident in my accomplishments. And therefore, I'll hang on to this argument because this is the way that I can prove that I am something, that my opinions are valid. And so this matters to me. Whereas now I'm like, I don't fucking care at all. So some of it's age, and that's something that just happens over time generally. But also some of it is just experience. And when you see these kids, it pops up on my Twitter sometimes, like doing these debates, they're like sit down, they like argue at each other. And it's so feminine and catty the way that they do it. Even like the mannerisms, they'll like deliver like a something that's like a counter to what someone says, and they'll do this horrible little like bitch face,
Little snap.
all that shit. Yeah, yeah. Take that, sister. And it's that, and it's so aggressive, but in like a fucking like what you would imagine like a proper commie cunt wouldn't say it to
Yeah.
your face, but
Yeah.
they'd send the people around to come to steal all your shit. It's that. Whereas like when you see proper actual male arguing, it's not that. It's look, I don't think that. Like, here's why.
He doesn't look like a pigeon.
Yeah, there's no like stress and angst and it's more like a more masculine frame, and someone who speaks from confidence is like, this is what I think, here's why I think it. Like, if you think different, that's okay. Unless it really actually impacts their life, it doesn't really matter. And I think that that's something that would be nice to see more of, especially in our industry and the generations coming up, because it's very fragile. You know, Bitcoin's like anti-fragile, but fuck me, it's very fragile.
Well, the community is extremely fragile. Extremely.
It really is. It really is.
When your generation was coming up and the participation trophies came out and the anti-bullying campaigns came out, you know, that for us, that was really after Columbine. It's like, hey, these weird kids do this weird stuff. Well, not because they're on psychotropics and, you know, they're probably MK Ultra'd into doing these things.
Hey. Don't bring conspiracy theories and facts here.
Into the PMM show.
Don't bring all that shit in here, because there's no mountain of evidence and proof to support your claims.
This all right. Wait till I start talking about vaccines.
Oh, no.
When the participation trophy stuff came out and the anti-bullying campaigns came out, that's when things really started to get off the rails, because bullying in real life is a good thing.
No.
No. In general, it's a good thing. Well, let me continue my point, and then you can push back.
Okay.
So bullying back in the day was a way of straightening out behavior that was overall negative towards the success of the community, civilization, society. And if the bullying was wrong, then the bully got the pushback. But there was a certain amount of, you wouldn't go to school going down this path of freakery without getting at least checked. If you got checked and you got past that point, well, then I guess what? You owned it. You earned that right. You earned that path to be a little weirdo. But if you weren't really committed to being a weirdo and you got the pushback, then perhaps you corrected it. But the fact that the bullying can't even happen organically without the higher part in the system, without the school system getting involved and suspending the bully and having all these giant campaigns and basically saying, well, anybody now that you disagree with is a bully. So you can't even do like these basic things of checking people's assumptions.
I get that point, but also there is just genuine bullying that goes way too far for kids that are not deserving of it at all, and I've witnessed it.
Sure.
I was a bit of a bully when I was a kid. I look back on things and I'm like, you are such a cunt. Like, I would punch myself in the fucking face if I could. I'd be like, you prick. that kid didn't deserve you to be so mean to them. There's no need. There's other kids that like are little pricks and they do need a straightening out, and they do need like stop being so fucking arrogant. Like, come on, get off your high horse. That kind of stuff. Like, especially in British culture, we're much less like, hey, high five, man, well done. Oh my god, yeah, you're so awesome. Like, we're much more, we'll bring everyone down and ourselves down. The culture is very different. So if someone's a bit too show offy or like, look at me, aren't I great, and whatever, like they'll quickly get straightened out. But the other like kids who are just quiet and kind and just want to be left alone, and they're like just doing their thing, whatever that thing is, like painting Warhammer or doing some like thing that every other kid thinks is a bit geeky, but they like it and not hurting anyone. You know, shoving these kids into fucking lockers and pushing them down the stairs and like like shit like that constantly. And if you're in a community, I think if you're in like a village, something like that, the bigger brother or like cousin or someone's going to come in and be like, listen, you fucking do that to my cousin again, I'm going to kick your head in. And it straightens them out. But at like schools, especially private schools where people are in boarding houses and stuff like that, there's no authority above that to check them. And so it just continues. And those kids are the ones where we're talking about, I just want to be left alone. And I can completely, actually, genuinely understand why they might come in and fucking slaughter everyone. Because if you get pushed for 3, 4, 5 years, you're actually a nice kid. You've not done anything wrong. Your mum and dad aren't there. They're in another country, or you don't see them. You've got no other family. You've got no one has your back. Teachers don't give a fuck. You can see it. That's not good bullying.
Then why didn't these things happen until the anti-bullying and participation trophy, anti-woke?
The people coming in with guns, you mean?
Yeah, that really started when things became soft.
I think, genuinely, I think a lot of it is MK Ultra and other designed by governments to move the conversation in a certain way, whether that's anti-gun, whatever their reasoning is. I think actually a lot of it is that. And then I think also humans copy other humans.
That's a good point.
If you're a kid where like you've been bullied for 5 years, you're shut in a fucking locker and you've been there for 5 hours and you've pissed yourself and like everyone's
My
like
God.
Yeah, shit like that.
What's
used to
wrong
happen
with your
in my
fucking
school.
rich people's schools? Jesus.
Honestly, mate, people were fucking bullied like really badly. It was like horrible, actually. I never did that level of bullying, but I was a bit of a cunt, but there was horrible bullying. And so if you're that kid and you've never heard of someone coming in and killing everyone, you're probably like, well, that's a bit extreme. I'm not fucking doing that. You know, I might do something else. I might get them back some other way, or I might just accept my fate. If you've seen, oh, well, mass shootings happen all the time. There's all these other kids that have done it. And like, I've got nothing going for me in my life and no one pays me any respect. If this is life, like, fuck this. And then they have access to weapons in some way. They get on these little chat rooms and other people are talking about it. And I guarantee you there are 3-letter agencies and people that are within those chat rooms who are psychologically manipulating these kids.
Profiling the kids. This one's a great candidate. This is the next
100%.
crooks.
There's that. And then on top of that, there are people who aren't agents of the state who are just sick.
Sure.
And they're in there as well.
They're pumped up full of drugs. They're pumped up with antidepressants and psychotropics. And now they add hormones to the mix with this whole tranny culture. Yeah, it's a perfect chemical cocktail to manipulate damaged young people. Here's the point I'd like to bring back up is there's this like hands-off approach that we decide to take to say like the system will take care of this damaged kid. They'll get them help. They'll get them the help they need. Which is underqualified Freudian charlatan psychologists and psychiatrists that just say, okay, let me give you this skewed, ridiculous Freudian psychological analysis and pump you up full of drugs. Whereas we as a community and men in a community have a duty to recognize this and pull these kids out, get them into sports, get them into, so get them physically active and involved with you. Because back in the day, you had a choice. You still have a choice if you're one of these bullied people, that you can get an edge on you from that bullying. That you can say, you know what? I don't like being bullied. I'm going to get in the fucking gym and I'm going to get huge.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wrestle. I'm going to take jujitsu. Or I'm going to be a really successful person and I'm going to show these freaking people who I really am. How did we pull away from that? So there's nothing we can do about the system that overprescribes medications and encourages young people to cut their private parts off and, encourages them to seek out help beyond their family unit. We were at a point where somebody would get that edge on them and they would turn that into success. And they've gone to like the system.
I think that's something that maybe adults should make it a task, like a good deed that they should look out for is if you find that person who is either really struggling or has potential but doesn't know how to unlock it or whatever. When you're in a state of life where you have a bit of time and money and experience and whatever else, that you mentor in some way and you watch out for that little turtle who's trying to get across to the sea and there's a load of fucking birds, vultures above it trying to eat it and it's got a bust up leg and whatever.
Yeah.
But you know they're good. Like, that's a good little turtle. You're like, let me swoop in here and just fucking help them a little bit. Give them help on their way. So
you're not going to put the little turtle in front of a computer and pump it up full of drugs.
No.
Okay.
You're going to teach it because you know what works. Like, anyone who's been either depressed or had issues in their life, the things that work as a bloke are like, get some wins under your belt. Do some shit that, whether it's going to the gym, getting stronger, fitter, sleep better, try and actually get some wins in like the financial world, like try and earn some money, try and do some shit that like makes you feel good. It's never like, read this book, write a diary about why you're so sad.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? That doesn't, let me talk about, that doesn't help. Like, it genuinely, when you finish in a gym and you're like, I fucking smashed that, you got nothing left in the tank, go and get a good meal, go and get a good sleep, wake up in the morning and it feels so much better. So if you're an adult and you have the ability to do that for someone around you, that's actually the best therapy. But they're only going to listen to you if you are the adult that has been successful, that is jacked, that there's loads of people in my life who try and give me advice and I'm like, why are you giving me advice? Why the fuck are you giving me advice? Like, what? I don't understand what I'm like, where has it gone right for you? Because I can't see it. And there's other people who give me advice and I'm like, I'm going to listen to every fucking thing you say.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
I'm going to seriously tune into everything you're saying because I respect the fuck out of you. And you've done extremely well and I can see why. So you only give the advice when there's a point to give it, and when your advice actually means something. That's the other thing. Don't like try and go and give advice to a load of people while you're still like eating pizza in your mum's basement and like you don't have a job or like, you know what I mean?
Maybe that's really a lot of this problem is they're getting advice from other people who are eating pizza in their mom's basement.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with pizza. I fucking love pizza so much.
Pizza's good.
Why is it so, like, it's one of the best.
It just hits all the right, fat acid with the tomato sauce
Salt.
And the cheese and the salt and it just hits everything just right.
And it's so easy. It's easy to eat. You can sort of just shovel it into your face. It's just, pizza is one of the best inventions. Like, if it's not good for you, but fuck.
But man, when you were young, you could eat the hell out of it.
And
still just go crush it at the gym or wherever. Really amazing.
I had a mate over a few weeks ago. We went for a pizza, not even a heavy pizza, like a stone baked, proper, like nice, good pizza.
Yeah.
And I had that and a pint of IPA, and I felt hideous afterwards.
Terrible.
He was like, "Yeah. Should we go? Where should we go now?" I was like, "For a fucking sleep, mate. I need a fucking sleep. I can't do this anymore." It was like 9% IPA, to be fair. So that's hit as well.
It's a heavy hitter.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It does make you like tired afterwards now.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
I don't even eat all day anymore.
No,
I just have like a little bit of jerky and some water and coffee, and eat when I get home. Whether that's good or not, I don't know. I don't give a shit. Go ahead and put in the comments whatever
stuff.
health food advice you have for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we spoke about in our mentorship episode, don't pass up these opportunities when you see a wayward kid. And I know we focus a lot on boys, well, because Max and I are boys, it's a lot easier. It's not like you're going to go, hey, girl,
Yeah.
that's not for the men to do, unless you're their father,
Yeah.
of course. And I don't know, maybe when I'm done raising these girls, I've got the proof of work of 3 successful daughters, I'll write a book. I'm doing a good job now. I get a lot of compliments from my mom, gives me lots of compliments. She's proud of what a good dad I am. And so does Sarah.
Well, and everyone at Lake Satoshi.
Oh, it's true. Speaking of which, let's go on to our boosts for the previous Lake Satoshi episode. I have myself up first. First booster is Rod Palmer from the Bugle News, hashtag 40 hours per week with 21,000 sats. Thank you, Rod. What a big spender. Totally appreciate that. He says, need a permanent Ask Bubba segment. I'll give you a little bit of backstory. We're sitting around the campfire, just everybody. Rod Palmer's there and Bubba and all of our friends are there. Bubba's like giving advice, and just spouting off old man stuff. And I said, you know what we need to do? We need to have a segment where like these weird little incels ask you for advice.
Oh, amazing.
Say, for instance, it's like, gee, I don't know. My girlfriend, I think she's been spending a lot of time with her friend George. And then like Bubba wouldn't even listen to the rest of the response. He would just chime in and be like, that's got, he's fucking gay. You're a fucking faggot, everybody. And then it would just cut off, like as if he goes off on a rant. And then we just come in with like a theme song that goes, Dear Bubba.
Oh, I love that.
We have somebody ask a question, him spout off and in the Bubba way, and then cut it off. Dear Bubba. So we kept doing that. We did it for like 15 minutes, just kept coming up with different scenarios for it. We were all dying.
I think we should do that. The only thing is, you could almost just have a canned one with Bubba, because it'd be like, that's because they're fucking gay, and technology is fucking stupid and fucking fade out.
I don't know. I'd give him credit. I think he can come up with about 50 or 60 different responses for some of these scenarios. I think our challenge would be to like really come up with good scenarios that are they're a little loaded, and that he's going to get the nuance of it and just roll.
Well, it's easy. Can I just tell you how we link these two topics? We waffled on about like kids and how we're better our generation than theirs and how everyone's wrong and all that stuff, right?
Sure.
So we're halfway to being Bubba. We're like in that middle ground. Why don't we take stupid gay comments from internet chat rooms with idiot kids, and then we can feed them onto Bubba?
Oh man, that'd be good.
Because it's already there. All the material's there. Literally, like, it's there. Like, half the people in Bitcoin are there with their little stupid...
Yeah, they are.
Oh, why we don't know? You're running that type of node. Dear Bubba.
Hey, Bubba, what do you think about the Knots core debate? Fuck these fucking people. Who gives a fucking shit? Can I spend my sats? Does it go through the block? Fucking dear Bubba.
Yeah.
But you know what we like to do is to outsource these things to other people. So if you guys have good Dear Bubba segment comments, lay it on us.
And then we need to actually make the Dear Bubba.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe somebody could sing that for us.
How about, as a deal, if someone can get us at least one Dear Bubba question, then I will probably take the time to make the Dear Bubba intro music.
Okay.
But until I get the actual question, I'm not going to sit and spend a day fucking around to make something that then isn't used. So do that first, then we'll introduce it. Fair?
I think Rod Palmer will just go ahead and do that. He's kind of like a low-key comedic genius.
He is, yeah.
Next up is our good friend Fundamentals. I was recently on Fundamentals and Otis's Sound Coffee podcast, and we had a really great time in their virtual coffee shop, which has oak floors, I've decided.
Oh, very nice.
And Fundamental sent 20,000 sats and says, big fan of the P.M.M, which stands for Pleb Minor and Meshtadel.
Or Pleb Minor Mafia.
And many other things. Pleb Minor Mafia, permaculture, Meshtadel, mentoring. We've had so many P's and M's over the years.
Thank you, Fundamentals. I had Business Cat on a couple of days ago.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that hit.
It hasn't hit yet because Kerem's still fucking around with it. He'll be like overexcited while editing.
It's not on Podhome yet.
No. Probably will be by the time this goes out, to be fair. But because it's his kind of stuff.
I sneak into the Podhome and log in and listen.
Oh, you can't.
I'm sneaky. Like, well, I can do that.
You're going to mess with my numbers, man.
No, it doesn't do anything. It's not
my
published
download
yet.
numbers.
No. It's still downloaded. It still downloads to... Come on. Don't be ridiculous. Okay. Anyways, looking forward to that.
Okay.
So thank you, Fundamentals, from the Rock, Paper, Bitcoin podcast, the Fish podcast, the Motivating the Math podcast, the Sound Coffee podcast. Recently wrote a book.
Have you read it?
Yeah, I read it before it was published. Thank you very much.
How did you get it all done? Is it a good book?
Yeah, I was saying this I said this on their show. It's Bitcoin for institutions. So obviously we're not CEOs of companies.
No.
Well, you're CEO of Ungovernable Misfits, I guess.
CFO, actually.
What's the F stand for?
No, sorry, CTO. Got my T's and my F's mixed up.
Technical?
Yeah. That's me.
You're the technical officer? I don't think so.
Listen, just understand that nothing technical would run without me. Forget Jordan. He's not qualified. Forget Q&A. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Forget that Seth guy. He has no idea. All right?
You're the technical one.
I'm the technical one.
Cool. Good for you, man. You know who doesn't lie is Late Stage Huddle. It was such a pleasure to meet you and your family, Jon. I was honored to give you and so many others a hug. Good hugger. That guy's built for hugging.
I bet he is.
Max, I'm not sure what to say other than you better fucking be there next year. If I have to buy you a plane ticket, then so be it. How much are flights from Antarctica anyway?
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone at Lake Satoshi. Thank you especially to Mike and PF for all their efforts. I hope to actually meet them next year. One of my favorite conversations was with a lady who has known Mike for 20-something years and talks about how this type of event is just a normal Saturday for their friends and family. Not only is the PMM and Meshtadel my type of people, but these Michiganders are my type of people too. My kids will be talking about this their entire lives and are already so excited to go next year. I will do my best to arrive earlier than 1 o'clock in the morning next time. I really look forward to seeing Late Stage Huddle again. Thanks, buddy.
What a guy. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the lovely messages.
Yeah. Throughout the years and throughout many episodes, Late Stage Huddle is a baller booster. Mm-hmm. And of course, the first day he was wearing his baller booster shirt proudly around Lake Satoshi. So that was really, really cool to see.
Nice.
Next up is Chet. Can't wait for next year. Y'all better keep crushing it and never get jaded. Never get jaded? Well, you're one to talk, pal. Much love and thank you to Mike. His guys that cook and do so much. That's true. There's a whole crew of people there working. PF and the whole Michigan crew for the special place in the mitten.
Guess who I'm speaking to next?
Who?
Chet.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we made a little date. He's coming on for a confag.
That's cool. Oh, man, that'll be interesting. Hopefully he gets into more things besides the mining story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
More personal stuff. That's what confabs are for.
I feel like I missed out massively because he actually flew through London when I was living in the UK.
Yeah, I told you that.
No, I know. He wrote to me and I was like planning. I really wanted to see him, but I had to go to the airport to get in to meet with him. And it was around the time where I had the last big major issue where I was getting extremely stressed about. And it was like right in the thick of that. And I was just like...
Ugh, you were a mess. I'd never seen you so bad.
Oh, I was not well. And I just thought, I'm not going to bring the energy that I want to... Like when I meet Chet...
Yeah.
I don't want to be there like, I'm going to fucking die. I want to be there like happy and excited and stuff. So this was like my way of like, okay, let's
bouncing around like Ben Gunn.
Exactly. Well, never like that. That guy is a fucking lunatic. Love him. I love him, but he is like if I gave my child crack, that is what it's like. But then give it a
Wow.
really
That's
high
saying
IQ
something.
and like
Oh, man.
capabilities. That's the trade-off. You got like a
Yeah.
toddler on crack bouncing around like a fucking nutcase, but like actually makes some sense and does some good stuff as well. That's what it's like. It's very tiring.
And to say that starting out as your number one kid with the template and then at crack and the crazy, that's wild.
Yeah,
That's wild.
That's what it's like. Yeah. Otis Bitmeyer, thank you for the heartfelt chat. Beautiful vibes, he says. Thank you, Otis Bitmeyer. I hear your coffee is beautiful.
Of course it is.
Soulex says, just had to empty my fountain sats on this one. So much love. It was a nice episode, last episode, actually. It was very heartfelt.
Yeah, that P.M.M. show. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed listening back to it.
Yeah, me too.
Next up is Bubba. Great recap, John. More thorough than mine, of course. Max the Goldwing is a 95, 30 years old. It was $2,800. Wish you were there, you fucking cunt.
Bargain.
John, don't forget I took your youngest crazy one on her first motorcycle ride. That is true.
Awesome.
She loved it, especially when I goosed the throttle and fishtailed a bit. Her scream of joy said it all. I will be at the lake every year, probably going to buy an old classic RV and drive again. This old man can't camp on the ground. Highlight of my cross-country trip. Fuck, I almost forgot the Dear Bubba moment. John, you played the great straight man in our impromptu comedy duo. We'll definitely work on that Dear Bubba segment.
I think so. Just remind me, what I want is when the intro comes in for Bubba, I want to have the sound of his motorbike coming in, like he's riding in to answer it.
Yeah. Okay.
Or he's riding off. He's like, cuts off. He's like, "Wah," and drives off. Rides
Dear Bubba. Next up is Rev Hodl. Lake Satoshi is the mesh citadel realized, but it all starts with local Bitcoiners. I'm going to keep the Lake Satoshi energy flowing as long as possible. Come hang out with me at the South Bend, Indiana Bitcoin Meetup, the first Thursday every month at Lang Lab, 6:30. Learn something, earn something, share something, buy something, build relationships and resilience with local Bitcoiners. Let the Lake Satoshi vibe continue on. There you go. I'll say that again. If you want to hang out with Carl, you can do so at the South Bend, Indiana Bitcoin Meetup the first Thursday every month at Lang Lab at 6:30 p.m. That's 18:30 p.m. There you go, Carl. That a good commercial. Next up is Chill Now 1, one of my favorite boosts to read. Karam, cue the music. System status. Connection restored. Mesh Tadel Tales, the original rebels. We have absolutely nothing. We have it absolutely all. Defy to remain prisoners of a system that consumes and destroys. Dare to build a future that elevates. This is the challenge. These are the moments. Progress isn't comfortable, it's rebellion. It demands we stop and say, enough. Enough greed. Enough control. Sleep deep. Dream wide. Data stream. Consciousness. Uplink. I assume Max has a plumber at his door, so I will continue to read on the boosts here. We've got JXMX, and they say, you seriously need to come to Lake Satoshi. I think that's a message for not only everybody in this audience, but to Max Bit by Bit as well. Raj at SC Bitcoin UK. I am in awe of you guys. Ben Gunn got a mention. Ben Gunn gets a lot of mentions on this show. Rightly so, because I want him to be my late in life role model and mentor. Never too late for me to improve. Well, Raj, get your ass to Ben Gunn's Citadel. Hopefully you enjoy the piece that Soulex recorded for us about his visit to Ben Gunn's Citadel, which is coming up soon. Sats Misfit. We had an incredible time with our extended family at the lake. Absolutely, Sats Misfit. You are definitely part of our extended family. Brother Abel, A-I-B-L-E, ASIC instructions before leaving Earth. A solid man of Christ raises super solid children. Thank you for the yearly recap. Sounded like an awesome time at Lake Satoshi. And it was, and you're welcome. And hopefully, one Lake Satoshi meeting, I will get to meet you there. That would be really great, Brother Abel. Appreciate the boosts and continued support. This is from Ascend. That's ASNYDE. She says, I was the woman your daughter invited to the Lake Satoshi morning fire. Well, I'm glad that she didn't manage to successfully scam you out of money for continuing to keep the fire going. Next up is Wartime. Y'all were up on the hill so often, I didn't even see Debbie Tammy. I can't believe that. I think she saw you walking around. Well, she was up there, and Debbie Tammy was down by the lake, too. She got around. Just so many people there. As a matter of fact, another Wartime boost says official count 400 to 550 attendees at Lake Satoshi. So perhaps that's why you guys didn't run into each other. Wartime also says John's children didn't test me on my math skills this year. Last year, they put me in school and gave me math tests. Pretty sure John had something to do with it. Haha. I don't need to spur those girls on to do anything like that. They just do it. And you're back.
I'm back.
Did your plumber come?
No, something else happened, but I had to go for a second. Sorry.
Okay, very well. Well, would you like to finish up with the pies boosts?
Hey, chingity ching.
I would. Pies. I want a job earning sats to dig and fill holes. Laughing face, winky face, mushroom face, strong arm, America equals number one.
Of course.
I want a job earning sats to dig and fill holes. We were talking about that before jumping on.
We were, yeah. I was saying if we had a little community, somebody would have to be the waste management person.
Okay.
The sewage person. So it wouldn't be such a bad gig to get up in the morning and dig the shitholes and then fill them back up at night.
Yeah, there's worse things to do.
There are.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Jon, your daughter is an OG. Well done on raising a true G. Yeah. What a hustler.
She's a hustler.
The stories you've told me, I'm just like, where's she going to be in 5 years?
In jail or in the White House, one or the other.
I mean, where's the more honest place to be? That's the question.
Jail.
I think so. I think so. User 84020566. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all the boosters.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of boosts there.
It was a lot of boosts. Yeah, we've got the best audience in value for value game. No doubt.
We do. Thank you.
Recently, our good friend Soulex Porter went to visit our good friend Ben Gunn, and Soulex Porter wrote a little piece about it. Would you like to hear it?
I read it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. It's very, very rare that I do these things, but I thought, look,
we're all aware.
They're both people that I have a lot of love for, and I thought, this is the one. I'm going to sit and read this. I needed a shit. I thought, I'll be here a while, and rather than scrolling on Twitter and seeing all the fighting and bullshit, I thought, no, I'm going to read this. It's very good.
What a guy. What a guy. Yeah. Well, Soulex knew, as he knows so well, that you are dyslexic. And yes. I assume he didn't realize that you were going to read this article. So he recorded it for you.
Oh, what a legend.
And I'm sure because of your dyslexia, you missed a lot of details.
I would think so.
I have it here to play for you so you can catch up on those details.
Nice.
Wood became is through wood and code. The train that carried me from the airport sliced through a landscape that belied the headlines of the mainstream media, or even the trending hot potato topics on social media. Whatever your preferred flavor. This was not the United Kingdom of censorship, great bureaucracy, and urban decay. Here were green fields, old brick homes, and a rusty crest left unrenovated regardless of the state of the buildings that could be seen out of the window. A different England, where whispers of hard, honest toil over cobblestones and candlelight still linger, just a breath of history away. The town that embraced the station where I had to get off greeted me with charm and contradiction. A town breathing history, yet suffocating under its future. Dilapidated walls and beautiful old townhouses rested uneasily on the carcass of fast food chains, while the silent shadows of empty, once homely storefronts told a tale of a culture unsure of where it's going, even as its stones remember where it has been. And yet, hidden in that postcard paradox, gems remain, unpolished and raw. Street food stalls still serve tradition, probably just as unhealthy, but at least with a trace of local character, beyond the hollow parody of that modern fish and chips has become. A message lit my phone. Ben was in town and eager to go. Historical streets come with little to no parking space, it seems. After tossing myself and my bags into his truck, greeted enthusiastically by Samson, chief security and good moods, we curved away from the town into something more elemental. Green grasslands and robust forests rolled past, a scenery that forces even the unhurried to slow down. Sometimes by nothing more dramatic than a tractor dragging hay bales through what counts here as rush hour. At the end of a meandering road, we arrived at the citadel. There we found Chief Monkey waiting, someone I had only briefly met years ago, but well enough that both of us remembered. Together we explored Ben's compound, which gave the impression of a living organism in flux. Bridges mid construction, cabins mid thought, and a sauna rising like a promise across the river. Two lakes, or huge ponds maybe, each stocked with their own fish species, and occasionally a dog convinced that joy lives in every ball tossed, especially if it splashes into the water. The three of us spoke the rest of the day. Plebeian market, Noster, art, commerce, and the messy tension between money, meaning, and health. More specifically about the paradox of the advanced state of modern medicine and their willful ignoring of alternative medication that could be beneficial to patients, be it complementary or as a standalone solution, were it not that the profits are found where solutions tend to be scarce, even if that scarcity is artificial. In the later hours, Chief and I even explored a potential path crossing of books and textile, but that is a rabbit hole that might have to be explored later. On the second day, Chief departed, and the vacuum filled with another one of Ben's friends along with an unspoken intent. What began as what seemed to be a random encounter through a common acquaintance spiraled into a full-blown hackathon. Squeaky pulled out his wand, not of wood, but out of code. And suddenly the impossible was on the table. His wizardry led to the exploration of letting virtually anyone without any skills aside from the ability to type in their own tempo etch words into wood from wherever they might be. But that detail, like most technology, was only the medium. The true engraving took place inside in minds reignited in promises once shelved and now dusted off. On the horizon, our imagination could see bridges being built that allow borders to devolve back to their original state, namely lines on paper. Over land, water, or air, if signal can be relayed, we prove that signal can be made physical. The day shifted tectonics within me. It was not about learning something new, it was remembering what I had allowed to slip. I rediscovered a version of myself that does not just dreams, that fights not just critiques, that builds not just thinks. Ben showed me that impossible is just often a shared hallucination, that energy is real currency, so we do forget how much of that currency we carry within us. Not in our wallets or phones, but the right encounters that can spark it into flame, rare and sacred though they may be. And for this, Ben has the eyes of an eagle. He plucks two people from the ether like reagents, mixes them in a vat, shakes, increases the heat and pressure, and then waits, already certain of the reaction he foresaw. I left not with conclusions, but with a mission reawakened, to revisit protocols, to finish half-built dreams, above all, to keep moving, even when the world whispers, be careful, stop, because it's not our fall they fear, it's our flight. And there in the distance, Ben already has his eyes on the horizon, calling for us to keep pace. With the right grind, no one has to be left behind.
Not our fall they fear, it's our flight.
Oh, I just wrote that down.
Very, very, very good point.
Well, you've read the article,
Mm-hmm.
and now you've listened to it. Does he capture the spirit of a Ben Gunn visit? Or does everybody experience it in a different way?
I think you'll experience it in a different way. But he is good at putting people together and also like reigniting fires and things.
Mm-hmm.
The way he told the story is very nice. He's a real wordsmith, a poet.
He really is. Yeah. Yeah. He's absolutely a poet. Great writer, beautiful voice. And I like that he shares all of his worldwide traveling, spiritually awakening experiences with us. If you go back into our library, we have the Arctic Bitcoiner experience. Last year, he wrote an article about his visit to Lake Satoshi. Now, his visit to Ben Gunn's Citadel. You can live vicariously through Soulex.
It's a good way to live.
Any other additional thoughts on the article, or do we let it stand for itself?
I think the comments about Britain not being how you see in the media probably has quite a lot to do with the area that he was in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like proper rural, which is a very different type of world. So that there's that. And then I guess just like not being too scared to move is an important thing. And that's something that I've experienced myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times where you have enough shit thrown at you and you get kind of like PTSD, like a fear of any like, oh, I don't want to do that because then I have to maybe deal with this, whatever it is, whether it's fucking tax shit or government shit or whatever problems potentially could be there. If you allow that fear to take hold, then what happens is you stand still. And if you stand still, that's a very dangerous place to be. And if you're in that fearful, covering your head with your arms in your hands and crouching down, concerned, worried, scared position, you're in trouble. So it's important to stand up tall, lift your head up. And also, I think most people who listen to this think in a similar way to us and probably act in a relatively similar way to us. It's easy when you're attacked constantly by governments and all the horrible tentacles that are attached to them, constantly treated like a criminal, to start in some way believing it, to start to be fearful of the way that you do things and the consequences. And it's important to remember, as long as this is the case, you're just a man or a woman trying to live your life, probably trying to feed your family and put a roof over their head, trying to follow your dreams and do the things that you believe are important. And if you're living like that, you're living better than a lot of the world. And for you to be attacked and for you to be fearful of the people attacking you, who are the real fucking predators, who do not live like that, they live in pretty disgusting ways and leech off others. If you allow yourself to be fearful and stop moving, they've won. And I think that's what Soulex is remembering there is, no, I'm not saying that he's thinking in that same way, but it sounds like it's reignited his fire and he's excited to go and fight again.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Which is good. The article made me happy.
Yeah.
I'll probably never make it over there, but who knows?
Well, it depends.
Someday. It depends on my level of success with what I'm doing now.
You better not go and visit that prick before you come and see me.
I'm not. I told you I'm coming to see you soon.
If that happens, I'll be very upset.
No.
I can arrange for that little gremlin to come and be around at a similar time or cross over.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I told you when I'm coming, didn't I?
No, you can tell me off air and remind
like a
me.
month ago.
But he actually said when he was visiting me, we were talking about like how short the list of people you like want to actually spend time with. And he was like, I really want to fucking meet Jon. I want to shake his hand. I want to meet Jon.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we'll make that happen.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll talk about it off air.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Soulex.
Yes, very much so. ALTAIRtech.io. I can imagine someday that Ben Gunn is going to have some sort of wood gasifier kind of operation going where he's producing electricity. I'd really like to talk to him about how he is producing electricity there. But once he does, of course, it's a great opportunity to start some sort of mining operation. I know that Ben Gunn has spoken to us quite a few times about wood kiln, wood dried, miner thing. It's probably not very practical. His wheels are always turning on what he can do to get mining involved there. ALTAIR ships internationally. Ben Gunn could potentially save some money by using promo code
Ungovernable
when he checks out to get an additional 1%. Shipping is fast, whether it comes from Missouri, fulfillment center in Mizzou. So everything's already paid for. Tariffs already paid for. You don't have to worry about this DDP and shipping tariffs and all that stuff. He's figured it all out for you. If you'd like to hear more from altairtech.io, he has great mining analysis, and we cover that on our Action News show. So tune in every month to hear from altairtech.io. That's altairtech.io.
Use the code ungovernable. No one ever uses our codes. Honestly, people fucking write to me so much. Oh yeah, I just ordered a passport. I just ordered this. Did you use the code? No, I didn't use the code. Right, well done, you cunt. Like every time. I'd love to know how many people who go to Altair actually use our code. I know some do. We see it coming through.
It gets compared to, you can look at your ref link analytics on his website, and we do pretty well.
Yeah,
we do pretty well. But I'm sure there are more that could be using that promo code. Don't forget, winter's coming, so get those machines out, dust them off, see what parts you need to order, control boards, fans, screws, cables, PDUs, whatever. They got it all. We're going to move on to an article by Charles. Oh, Excuse me. Now. That was very unprofessional.
Excuse me. I apologize.
Now we're going to move on to an article by our staff writer, Charles François Bienvenu Myriel. And this one's called Live Not by Lies. It's been a while since we've had Charles here, and glad he's back. He's a very busy guy.
One of the best.
Yep. Best guy. Best good guy. My dude. Yep. It is called Live Not by Lies. He starts out with a quote from Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Our way must be never knowingly support lies. Having understood where the lies begin, and many see this line differently. Damn it. Why would I burp right now? Having understood where the lies begin, and many see this line differently, step back from that gangrenous edge. Let us not glue back the flaking scales of the ideology, not gather back its crumbling bones, nor patch together its decomposing garb. And we will be amazed how swiftly and helplessly the lies will fall away, and that which is destined to be naked will be exposed as such to the world. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Live Not by Lies, 1974. I get called cynical from time to time because I try to explain the sinister nature of our world to the NPCs. I believe their lack of critical thinking, as well as their unwarranted faith in institutions, is misguided and dangerous. If someone is doing something immoral and egregious, I don't think it's cynical to acknowledge it. While it's unhealthy to obsess over it, it is vital to have at least a basic understanding of the way the world works. I take the risk with certain people to explain things that may be difficult for them to accept, because I believe that the truth matters, and that lies have consequences. It's very jarring to come to grips with how evil some people can be. I was completely blindsided by the COVID pandemic lockdowns, seeing the psychopathic pathology of control, as well as the general population's compliance in response to it. I learned that much of what I grew up believing was a complete and utter lie. In response, I felt depressed, angry, and isolated. Those feelings were incredibly important in my journey of self-liberation and healing. In medicine, if a doctor misdiagnoses a problem and prescribes the incorrect treatment, the patient will not be able to heal. Oftentimes, they even begin to get sicker and sicker. Understanding the problem is the first step towards helping a patient get better. Many doctors treat symptoms, but a good doctor is able to help the patient get to the root of the problem. He has a statistic here from SAMHSA data for 2023, reports about 58.7 million American adults, equal to about 22.8%, had a mental illness. Holy shit.
Yeah. Where do you get these stats from? Because I'll throw something into the mix here. When you get stats like that, it's reported mental illness. And anyone who knows, who's dealt with any type of government bullshit and banks and fuckery, if you're mentally unwell and vulnerable and you're having suicidal thoughts, shit gets sorted much quicker because they are more fearful of dealing with your case. And anyone who's dealt with enough shit leans on that sort of stuff with doctor's notes. And on top of that, you also have people who want to claim some type of benefit or be off work or whatever. So all I'm saying is those numbers could actually be quite skewed.
I want my weed card. I'm mentally ill.
Exactly.
Give it to me.
Exactly that. But anyway, yeah.
That acronym stands for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Okay. All right.
Even still reported, and there's also unreported, a lot of mental illness. Charles Myriel goes on to say, we live in a sick society and very few people have the courage to ask why. A lot of people just accept it as a reality and believe there is very little they can do about it. Others spend their time rushing to try to treat the symptoms of the problem. Getting to the root of the issue is difficult because it means going against the grain of society by adopting a worldview that is incompatible with the majority of people. More importantly, it means embracing facts that are so alarming it creates a lot of emotional pain. I believe that truth matters because lies have consequences so severe the consequences of ignoring reality are more dangerous than confronting it. You cannot hide from reality. If lies are allowed to fester, they will permeate and eventually find you. Lies will make you sick, your children sick, and your communities sick. Truth is vital for healing. Predators rule the world. I've been trying to understand the core of the problem for a while, and the best I have come up with is that predators rule the world. As a moral person, it's hard to understand the motivations of a predator who has no moral scruples and seeks power at any means necessary. To many people, perpetuating a cold-blooded murder is unthinkable, but to the predator, it is just a part of daily life. We often hear about criminal organizations and the horrific things that they do to each other and civilians, but the broader society overlooks the largest criminal organizations, governments. The scale at which governments perpetuate crimes against humanity is unfathomable, and there are few ways that normal individuals justify them. I won't go into the breakdown of the anatomy of the state because Murray Rothbard has already broken it down masterfully, and you can check out the audiobook in the following YouTube link. You can just search Anatomy of a State. You'll find it.
A monopoly on violence.
They certainly do.
Mm-hmm.
Normal people play mental gymnastics in order to justify their cooperation and compliance to tyrants because it is incredibly dangerous to confront them, and they want nice things. This is what the social contract actually is. So he has an infographic here with an exclamation point, red exclamation point that says, we, the NPCs. Then a clockwise arrow going to a demon figure. The clockwise arrow is labeled thinking, self-reliance, and power. The demon figure is the conquering, predatory ruling class, and that gives back security and nice things. So we, the NPCs, give the conquering, predatory ruling class thinking, self-reliance, power, and they give us security and nice things. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
You're so sweet.
Thanks, you fucking demons.
Thank you, Daddy Government. You love me. We are dealing with the consequences of living in a society that has been detached from reality for a very long time. They have accepted blatant lies. They, at least to some level, know that they have been lied to, yet they choose to do nothing. This is because they either feel the costs of action are too high, or that in doing something they will lose the good things they have. This mentality has led to and will lead to catastrophe. It's difficult when confronted with evil to know what the correct course is to take, but inaction and apathy is obviously not the correct course of action. Edit that out, pal. Some indisputable examples of lies. Motivation for Iraq War and other wars. Politicians and business leaders' involvements with Jeffrey Epstein. Central banking and inflation. Justification, you would say so. justifications for central planning, how taxes are used, black budget and other fraud, origins of COVID-19. Okay. How about mass surveillance on U.S. citizens? All right. Well, what did you think of the COVID-19 response? 2 weeks to stop the spread, vaccine safe and effective?
I actually thought all of it was fine as well.
You did?
Yeah.
That's true.
Actually, it really was fine. Never forget the people who cheered all this shit on.
No, don't ever forget them.
Mm-hmm.
Charles goes on to say, I believe in order to be a healthy individual, you have to have some awareness of who your friends and enemies are. You have to have a basic understanding of the forces at work in the world. You have to acknowledge the existence and depths of evil. We may never conclusively know the truth about any of the above, but if you moderately pay attention, it is clear to see the lies. The world is ran by war criminals, financial criminals, and pedophiles. They gaslight the general population to believe that they have to play by made-up rules created by decree and subscribe to the system which protects the predators at the helm. The predators come to agreements with each other via mutually assured destruction in order to preserve order, allowing the population to have some prosperity, and the population accepts being ruled by predators because they want the newest iPhone. We are living in a time where the predators became way too overzealous, and things are falling apart as a result. The population is losing their minds because it is harder to get nice things in exchange for compliance. Go back to the infographic. They're struggling to realize that their compliance was actually more dangerous than courage, intellectual honesty, and facing inconvenient realities. Consequences of lies. The consequences of lies are horrific. All of us have been impacted in some way or another. Our society is sick, and unless you are very intentional, it will make you sick as well. The food is trash, the culture is trash, the education is trash, and many people's views of themselves is trash. There is a widespread issue of a general lack of self-worth and self-respect. Childhood suicide rates are rising. He's got a graphic here, and the age-adjusted rates per 100,000 in 2000 were about 10 and a half. This is interesting. They seem to have taken a real high in 2018, 2019, and then dipped in 2020, but then have risen from there. So we're at 14 per 100,000 of children that have committed suicide.
Hideous.
Those are some real numbers. Hard to fake those numbers. It's obviously a real societal sickness that we're dealing with.
Suicide rates increased 37% between 2000 and 2018.
I see that now. Yeah.
And I haven't got the graphs in front of me, but I'm pretty sure certainly in England, suicides of young men are pretty extreme. Usually men in some type of financial distress, like being crushed by the weight of all the bullshit they're doing. And it's pretty fucking scary and sad.
Charles goes on to say, individuals are quick to oversimplify the issue and blame things like social media for being the problem. What is actually happening is very sophisticated and complicated. Children are facing adverse experiences, death of parents, sexual abuse, violence, etc. And instead of having a society capable of helping them understand these difficulties, they are fed into incredibly unhelpful institutions that in many ways normalize the problems. Why are traumatized children being given pills? Is the problem a chemical imbalance in their brains, or is it the fact that they face something incredibly difficult? One of the premier books on trauma, titled The Body Keeps the Score, outlines how the professional community has faced difficulties when attempting to create guidelines on how to identify and treat trauma. The author describes how the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistics Manual, is missing some very clear diagnoses around trauma. The DSM is used almost universally to diagnose and treat mental disorders. There are some conclusions that could be made, which is that the predators running society are intentionally preventing a real discussion on how to heal. The incentives are clear. Predators do not want to empower their prey. In doing some research on the subject, I found some alarming statistics which should make my case a bit more compelling. Stats on foster care. One study, Girls in Foster Care, a vulnerable and high-risk group, found 81% of girls in foster care reported having been sexually abused at some point. In that same group, 68% has been abused by more than one individual. Mental health challenges. Up to 80% of children in foster care struggle with significant mental health issues, compared to 18 to 22% in the general population. A 2025 prospective study found that nearly 30% of foster care youth had been incarcerated in young adulthood by age 20. Lifetime incarceration rates were 42%. Holy shit. According to a working paper, close to 1/5 of the U.S. prison population are former foster children. Some sources, example the National Foster Youth Institute, state that 50% of the homeless population across the U.S. have spent time in foster care.
That's pretty jarring. Especially jarring as someone who has kids, when you just think about like how innocent, and they're like a different species. Like a child compared to an adult is literally like a different thing, like a different being, and they're like a puppy. And to think that they're in foster homes and the problems that they face in there, and then what waits for them most likely when they come out, is pretty horrible.
Mm-hmm. Looking at these numbers, I think, well, shouldn't the quality of the foster family that they're with, I mean, that's really predominantly the system that I see around here, is these kids are with foster families. We have a good friend who's a psychologist, therapist person that works in the court system to help the foster kids figure all that stuff out. Sometimes the foster parents are really, really great, and they're just given these kids that are so damaged. It doesn't matter how wonderful they are to these kids. The damage has been done. Charles wraps up the article by asking us, how do we deal with it all? This is a hard question to answer because everyone's situation is different. If you are a moral person, it is impossible to look around and not see that something is clearly wrong. The awareness of the problem is the first step in healing. I don't know if it's productive to try and directly confront all of the predators in a direct confrontation, because it's dangerous. But there are definitely circumstances where it is warranted. Ultimately, though, I believe one of the most productive ways to deal with it all is to do things in your own self-interest. Be aware, use your brain, and work to protect yourself as well as the people you love. Pursue a spiritual path, and strive to find a sense of meaning and purpose in the things you do. Be very cognizant of the people you spend time with, their motivations and values. Work on things that matter to you. One of the greatest lies people tell themselves is that this is only hurting me. I don't believe that we ever get to the point of being fully healed, but we can work through a lot of things that hold us back from connecting with others. This is why abuse is so horrible. People carry the impact of it with them their whole lives. When you decide to take on the process of healing, you become an example to others. Every interaction you have is informed by your experience. One of the things that makes it difficult for individuals to find hope is a lack of context in how things can be different. In my own process of healing, I have found that I am capable of things that I previously had never thought was possible. Having a sense of confidence, conviction, and appreciation for who I am has radically changed my life for the better. I have been able to communicate, create, and connect like never before. If horrible things have been done to you, you have the opportunity to not perpetuate them on others. You have the opportunity to break the cycles of abuse. You have the opportunity to empathize with individuals who haven't received empathy. Be kind to yourself, because the way you treat yourself ultimately will inform the way you treat others. I'm writing this not because I believe that everything is hopeless and we should all be black-pilled. I'm writing this because looking at the world this way has actually helped me a tremendous amount. When I realized that I wasn't the problem, and it was the sick society constantly attacking me, I actually began making some significant progress. I don't believe that humanity will ever eradicate evil, and that we must learn how to live by understanding how sinister people are. But I do believe that you can live a fulfilled life by rejecting lies. There is hope for the future, as long as there are people who are willing to reject living by lies. That was Living by Lies by Charles Francois. Bienvenue, Myriel.
What a writer.
Yeah.
It's always interesting how much it links to, like, I hadn't read that. I didn't know what we were going to get from him. We pretty much, like, not the bit about self-harm and mental illness and suicide and things, but the part about standing tall and knowing it's not you that's the problem. I am not the problem in the mirror. That's something that we were already talking about. Rejecting that framing of like, you're the criminal and we control things and we're here for your safety. It's no, you're the criminals. You're here to steal from us and hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, we're the good guys. And that's very much what he's saying here. So it's just interesting how these things link in, and what Soulex is talking about. And I think that is probably because we all do have somewhat of like a collective thought, and we're all living in the same times and going through, like, a lot of us have been together for a long time now and friends for a long time now and in the same groups for a long time. So what we're experiencing is very much at this stage, just fuck off. We've had enough.
Yeah.
Leave us alone. You are wrong. We are right. We're going to keep living in a good way and looking after our friends and family. And if you want to try and attack us, we're going to start fighting back now. You can fuck off. We're going to learn your games.
You just want to be left alone.
Yeah, literally. Great article.
All of the nodes of the citadel kind of vibrated at the same rhythm. There's something that happens there.
Definitely.
And the fact that we're all friends is,
well, that helps.
It's tremendously helpful because we're having these conversations personally.
Yes.
Onto something a little bit lighter. My voice is going, so I'm glad this episode is wrapping up. We're going to do something a little bit different with our Lake Satoshi ad reads.
That's the ad read.
Wow.
That's the ad read.
that spiked it up. Nope, that's not what different we're going to do with our Lake Satoshi ad reads, is to bust my eardrums with your loud sneezing. Last year we played Michigan's own Bob Seger for all of our Lake Satoshi ad reads, but this year I wanted to let the world know, especially our global listeners, how important Michigan is to musical culture. The music scene in Michigan really started taking off in the 1920s. With big band sound and then jazz. And of course, we all know about Motown and the R&B and soul industry in Detroit. But we're going to kind of weave the personality of our Michigan Lake Satoshi friends by explaining their journey and laying out their journey historically in music. First big thing in Detroit was the Gene Goldkette. His Victor Orchestra. This was a guy who immigrated from Canada to Michigan. So his name is probably Jean Goldkette, something like that. But I'm sure in America they called him Gene Goldkette because
they don't know how to pronounce shit.
We like to Americanize everything. Yeah. And interestingly enough, this Western Pennsylvania was initially French. Fort Duquesne here before the French and Indian War. Old George Washington rode up, took it for the British and General Braddock. So we have a lot of French towns here, but nobody pronounces them in any kind of French way. So we have North Versailles. That's North Versailles. Yeah. We've got Dubois. That's Dubois. The only one we say sort of right is Duquesne.
Okay.
But there are a ton of French words around here that none of us do.
Dubois.
So Jean Goldkette. Dubois. Yeah. Oh, you just getting that down there. You're from upper Dubois. Fuck. Oh, yeah. I've been there. Dubois.
Oh, it's so cultured.
North for sales. Sarah and I have decided that the Pittsburgh accent is just like, how lazy can you be with your mouth and your breath? That's essentially what it is. It's just time and energy savers. Anyway, back to Michigan. Here's a little clip from Gene Goldkette. You would have heard this in the Greystone Ballroom in the 1920s and 30s.
Hey, there you go. Boy, that's a jaunty beat. Say, I like that.
You can do the whole ad read in that amazing voice.
Oh, I could. Yeah.
Please do.
Come to Lake Satoshi next summer, 2026. Enjoy great times with your friends and family. Jump into the cool waters. Eat a delicious barbecue sandwich. Commune with friends and other Bitcoiners. That's Lake Satoshi, Langsberg, Michigan, next summer, 2026. Hope to see you there.
A barbecue sandwich.
Gee, that's one tasty barbecue sandwich.
I think that's my favourite ad read.
Write me a whole script. I'll talk like that for hours.
I love it.
Gee whiz.
Well, we talked about Lake Satoshi a lot this episode.
We have.
But I don't have a date yet for next year.
Okay.
But everybody start making plans. Yeah. You know you got to get there.
Be there. Be there or be square.
Be there or be a square.
I don't even know if they said that at that time. That might have been like a...
Foxtrot your way on over to Langsberg, Michigan.
Yeah, definitely do.
We'll keep the beat so you can beat the summer heat.
Wow, that's great. You were born in the wrong time, in the wrong era.
I know.
I think you were.
You know, I love radio, radio history, and number one child is performing in Annie, the musical, at her school. She is going to be Grace. She's got a lead role. So there's a lot of Annie in this house. And there's a part of the movie, at least, where they're in the radio station and Daddy Warbucks is like letting everybody know that he's searching for Annie's parents. So they'll do the live ad read commercials, and as they're going through the script, they just throw the script on the ground and they have the singing and the sound effects. Like, I don't know. I just love all that shit.
It's great.
Simpler time.
Well, mate, I have got to fly. So
yeah, me too.
And I know you've got stuff to do. But it's always lovely catching up with you. And thank you so much to Soulex for your lovely article. I really appreciated that. And Francois, bienvenue, Myriel. Final thing, what would they say in Pittsburgh? How would they say his name?
Oh, that's a great question. Charles Francis, bienvenue, Myriel.
Myriel.
I don't know how to say that. Myriel.
Myriel.
Charles Myriel. I ain't saying all that stuff. I can't read that.
Well, thanks to Charles Myriel. We appreciate you, mate. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Good on you. We will. And to play things out, we have a 1930s Detroit jazz band called McKinney's Cotton Pickers. So enjoy McKinney's Cotton Pickers.
Very nice.
This one's my favorite, Max.
It's a banger.
Get the Victrola out. Wind her up.
All right, mate. Well, have a good party. And we'll
yes.
Stop this.
I'm never a flop. I started, don't stop. Just keep strolling, keep the ball rolling. Why did I do da do da? This isn't a boast. But what I like most is to have someone who is true, who will love me too. 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 times. There is delight in doing things right. 4 or 5 times. Maybe I'll sigh, maybe I'll cry.